When do we talk about the fucking shows and movies? Thanks for the F shot.
I don't know, but his arm got chewed up.
Show me what you got.
We'll drink it if you say.
Happy New Year!
Woo!
Yeah! We did it. We made it through another year, boys. 2023 is behind us. 2024 is right ahead of us. And today, on Wasted Opinions, we're going to be talking about the movies that we're looking forward to this year. Now, there are some movies that look pretty darn good, I tell you that much. But before we get too far, let's do some shots.
Shots? Okay.
Oh, well, I thought you were gonna do the fucking the cork thing.
He was just gonna shoot it.
Oh,
We'll do the shots first.
The shots. I'm changing it up a little bit. Now we can introduce ourselves.
I thought he was gonna shoot the cork, do the shot.
I was expecting intros.
Okay, I didn't know that's what you were doing. Now we got our shots in us, we can have warm bellies. Who is to my left?
That was really loud. It takes a lot of balls to golf the way I do. I'm LewisLightning.
And the guy below me, what's your guys' name? What's your name, bud?
I'm not a crook. I'm MussKeg.
Look at that!
What the hell's going on?
My camera doesn't do shit. I'm CountryBoy.
Fuck off.
So yes, like I said, we're gonna rattle off 5 of our most anticipated movies of 2024. These movies obviously haven't come out yet, and so we don't know if they're going to be good or not, but maybe they look pretty cool. But starting us off, we're going to go with Mr. LewisLightning.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this one my number 5 pick. I haven't actually seen any trailers for it. I've read a lot about how it's supposed to be happening and stuff, so I'm a little bit iffy if this is even going to come out, but it's slated for 2024. Gladiator 2.
Oh, yeah.
Sequel, I guess. Is it really a sequel, or is it just like another?
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's basically Lucius. You know the son that he saves.
Yeah.
Lucius Veronis or whatever his name was. It's him, kind of going forward, and I'm not sure who he's challenging up against. He's going up against Pedro Pascal. I'm not sure who he's playing. But.
Well, we know he's going to end up being in a gladiator somehow. But yeah, I love the first one so much, and isn't it Ridley Scott again? Or
yeah, but man, Ridley. Sorry, yeah, keep going.
No, go ahead. I
was gonna say I too would be of the opinion of you, because I think Gladiator is one of the best movies ever made as far as just like sheer, epicness and drama and such. And it's won awards that kind of back that. But Ridley Scott has not been hitting lately.
Yeah, he's
only getting bad reviews. Yeah. Like I don't know, even ever since going all the way back to, you remember his Robin Hood that he did with Russell Crowe? That was terrible. So I don't have high hopes for this. Somebody actually, I read one thing that was interesting is they said they liked the idea of the original Gladiator 2 script that was made, where it was Maximus gets sent back to Earth by the gods.
Oh,
to be kind of like a Ronin or a type of thing for him. Which, how freaking cool would that be?
Supernatural thing. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it would fit in with the first movie because
but maybe it's really. Did the first one need a sequel? I don't know.
That's the thing too.
Everything needs a sequel if it makes money.
I agree with you what you said about Ridley. He's been more miss than hit lately, definitely. But I'm hoping that they just really follow the first one, try to get that same tone. I don't even really care if it's a little bit maybe too close in some way to the original story and plot, because that was just really good. Like I just want that, but more of it. So if the sequel can do that, if it doesn't go too wild and fuck things up, I think it'll be good. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it too. Actually, yeah.
So my number 4 pick, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I'm interested in that. I mean, less interested than I was before I saw the trailer that comes out. I'm not thrilled that the new empire seems to be an ape empire. I don't know. Apes.
Many apes, man.
Apes don't do it for me, so I'm not too thrilled about that. I was really hoping for like more of the other monsters, like besides apes and lizards. But
Yeah, I'll agree with you. It's on my list too, so spoiler. But I agree. I think I was a little more excited about it when I didn't know as much about it from that first trailer that we saw. I think, but I did like the last Godzilla versus Kong like more than I expected to. It was just a fun movie.
yeah, these ones have been fun. They haven't been great though. I'll say that. And I'm hoping that there's what's that?
The last one was great.
But I'm hoping there's a big swerve because this trailer made it seem like it's Godzilla, a Kong, and then just like a big ape army. And I'm hoping that there's something else, like somehow Ghidorah comes back or some other threat shows up. Because I don't want it just to be as formulaic as what it seems.
Yeah. Okay.
After that, my number 3 pick is going to be Imaginary Friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Friend.
I don't know if I haven't decided on my top 5 yet, but I had a list that I'm going to pick from, and that was one that was on my list. It seems very creative.
Yeah, I think I just seen it in the last couple of weeks, and I shared it with you guys when I noticed it. So like pretty much anything kind of lighthearted and comedic with Ryan Reynolds, I'm on board for. Like I'm like, oh, it's got my attention at least, right? But I like the creativity of it. Like there's a scene in the trailer that they showed where he like climbs out of this painting. Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
That was so cool. That was actually the point where it changed. It really brought me on board. Up until then, I'm like, maybe. And like, I want to know, is Ryan Reynolds' character like an imaginary friend too?
That'd be a hell of a twist.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm
I
hoping.
don't think it's a twist. I don't think this screams like a twist story. I think it's gonna be pretty obvious or something like that.
Yeah.
If it's true, or told right away.
But yeah, I'm hoping that creativity that we see in the scene with the painting is in a lot more areas, right? That we see a lot more of that kind of shit.
John Krasinski,
Oh yeah, well John Krasinski is the writer, right?
writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was like, even the cast thing they show is like a lot of good people are in this thing. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people I know that I like seeing.
Steve Carell's
I will say the concerns. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I was saying, isn't Steve Carell like the main like imaginary friend, that big purple dude or something, isn't he?
Sounds like him.
No? I thought it was.
Oh, I didn't see his name on the list, and
He's at the very bottom.
Voice.
Okay. Take it back. I don't want to see it now.
But
Well, my biggest thing though the only gripe I have is the comedy did seem a little.
yeah, it's
That's from the trailer that I saw, like the jokes that they put in. I was like,
seems run of the mill in that sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
like an AI wrote it or something.
I'll give it a shot.
I know it reminded me of a TV show that I watched called Happy, where a guy could see imaginary friends, and that's what it reminds me of. But that's a lot more gritty and darker and like adult, not like this.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an emotional part to this for sure.
Oh, I'm sure there definitely is.
I'll just say, like, it also reminded me of a show I've seen called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which seems the same too. I do like the that one joke about an imaginary or an invisible imaginary friend. What kind of skin? It's like so stupid, but
Steve Carell plays Blue, so he's
Okay.
So yes, I do want to see this again still.
okay. Blue is actually the name of a character from that Foster show I was talking about. Anyways,
Of that.
my next pick, my number 2 pick, Furiosa.
Oh yeah.
So that's the spin-off. I think it's a spin-off from the Mad Max Fury Road.
It's a prequel.
Yeah. So honestly, when I saw the trailer, it was not very appealing, I guess. Like it seemed like a lot of CG, which is not what I wanted from it. But it is George Miller, right? Am I saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's also surprising George Miller really didn't use a ton of CG for.
Exactly.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's weird that there would be so much CG from a guy that is known for practical effects.
Yeah.
The most he CG'd in Mad Max was the, maybe the water coming out of the thing or the storm itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like I'm I'm fairly confident in George Miller. Like, yeah, I don't like the CG and stuff, but I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of other great stuff, and he seems to have a really good hold on what makes Mad Max interesting to the audience. So I'm hoping that he pulls it together. And I just love that Mad Max world. Like, I think
Yeah.
probably the three of us, I'm the guy who's just nuts for that shit. So I love seeing it.
I recently just saw Fury Road again for like, I don't know, like the 10th time or something, and it still holds up.
Such a great movie to catch on TV.
It's like, so yeah, seeing more in that world, that's fucking, I can't wait to see that. It's looking like a great movie.
Like you were saying, catching Furiosa or Mad Max Fury Road on TV. I love catching the Road Warrior on TV, which is the same kind of convoy chase movie. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And my number one pick, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong place. My number one pick for movies coming up in 2024, Deadpool 3. Probably not a surprise. The guy who always comes for superhero movies.
Oh, you put 2 Ryan Reynolds movies on your list.
I guess I did. I never even thought of that. But
let's all admit it. We were on board. We were always going to be on board with Deadpool. But the second we saw the yellow Wolverine suit,
yeah.
And you know they're going to have fun with that. Like, it's going to be a running joke or something like that through the movie.
I just wonder, because it's a Deadpool movie, he's going to be the main character, I assume. You'd have to assume that, like, will Wolverine become more of like a joke to him? Kind of the way that Colossus is a joke?
Maybe, I don't know. I hope they don't have him be jokey.
That's exactly it.
He's actually at his best when he's being himself. Like, I remember one time I laughed the most at Wolverine in I think it was Days of the Future Past, where Magneto gets all angry with Xavier and starts bending the plane while they're riding and makes everything, like all the plates and fall down. And after it's all done, Wolverine just sits and he's like, "You know, pick all that shit up." Like, that's funny. Or the X-Men Days of the Future Past, he's in the bar, he just says "fuck off" and they leave. Like, that's funny. So I hope they keep that type of a comedy for Wolverine.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest concern we should have, and I don't think it's going to be too big, is that I hope he's like a big part of the movie and not just like, you know, you see him at the beginning and then he gets captured or something and Deadpool 3's got to save him.
People would be pissed. There's so many people that want to see this.
Yeah.
Come back in the yellow suit, and for him to be like to the sidelines for like 10 minutes of the movie or something, people would be pissed.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they treat it the way that the fans want it to be treated.
And I'm a huge Hugh Jackman fan, so I just love that he's in it. Like, even if he wasn't Wolverine, I would be interested just knowing that he's attached to this. You know, like, I love him as an actor. So,
yeah.
But that's my 5.
Number 1. Okay.
Number 1 with a bullet.
Bullet point? What?
Well, number 1 with a bullet.
Oh, with a bullet. Adamantium bullet. MussKeg, what's your number 5?
Yeah, awesome. Let me just bring up my list here. So again, I have my list here. I'm going to be picking these on the whim as far as order. One of them would be number 1 on my list. I just haven't heard so much about it that I'm wondering if it'll even come out next year, but I'll still include it at some point. But for my number 5, I'm going to go with a movie that I just kind of heard a little bit more about today, Borderlands.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited about it for a few reasons. One, it's a game series I played and I think has good comedic and, you know, visual potential. It's had some pretty good story too, and you know, good writing. Even the Tales from the Borderland had some interesting, great stories to it as well. So. And the other thing is Craig Mazin's running it. I don't know if you're not familiar. Craig Mazin was the showrunner for Last of Us and also for Chernobyl. So excited that he's going to be working on it as well.
Craig's got to stay together.
Because those aren't jokey series at all.
No, exactly. So, so that was my number 5. My number 4 is, let me think here. Okay, my number 4 is a movie I just kind of heard about today called Argyle.
Oh, yeah. I like the trailer for that one.
It's from Matthew Vaughn, the guy who did The Kingsman, and also Fox Sketch. We saw that with Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. But it looks... At first I read about it, I was like, huh. And I started watching it, and I was like, okay, this is like another Man from U.N.C.L.E., another knockoff spy one. And then I started to see the creativity of like it's like cuts to like the real world, and Sam Rockwell's like a an assassin or spy or something like that. It took it for a loop and jumped it up a notch. So
Yeah.
Is it set in modern day? Just the way when you talk about Vaughn and stuff, I think
it
older.
looks like it, I believe. From the way she's dressed when it goes to like the writer, it looks pretty modern day.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks fun movie for sure. I'd be on board for that one.
Nice. Number 3 is the one that I kind of referred to earlier. I just heard about this today, reading some articles looking it up. It's Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah.
And Rohirrim, or however it's pronounced properly. And I'm like, what? And it's got Brian Cox playing as Hammerhand. The guy that Helm's Deep kind of thing was, I believe, the Horn of Hell Hammerhand, whoever he was based off of. So I think it could be good. I just have heard so little about it. I really wonder if it's even going to come out next year. So.
I had just heard about it recently too, which is what surprised me because I don't know much about it at all. I don't know what time.
I didn't get through the series on Prime. It was a little too slow for me to get into it.
I really got into it, especially near the end. The ending really sold it for me.
I should really pick that up. I think we're not only like a few episodes left, but I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I never read the books, unfortunately, but I still love the movies. Even the Hobbits. Well, I know they weren't as good. They're still entertaining movies for me.
So who's the director? I don't know if you said, but I didn't catch it if you did.
I know I saw the name, but I don't know if I know them from anything. So.
But it's not Peter Jackson again, then I take it.
No, it's not Peter Jackson.
Yeah, if it wasn't, pretty sure. Yeah, that probably would have stood.
Yeah, because I didn't hear about it either. And I didn't know what to think without a trailer.
Produce it and rake in the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, that's my number 3. And honestly, if I knew it was more certain or whatever, I could easily see it being my number 1 for it. So so number 3, I believe it was. So number 2 is a movie I just kind of saw a trailer for again recently. It's called Civil War, and it's got Nick Offerman in it, Nick Offerman in it, and it's basically kind of set in the near future, not the not too distant future. America, and there's kind of a civil war brewing, basically a commentary on the way things are in the States right now, especially since Trump kind of went through and COVID and everything like that, and all the social justice issues and everything. So it's kind of a commentary on that I think is going to have a little bit of comedy, but also pretty serious. Mm-hmm. And got like Nick Offerman, I think, is playing the president, who's like kind of the bad guy in it, and it's got Jesse Plemons in it, who I think is great. I'll send you the trailer after for this because I think you'll really like it.
So, like, just what's the tone of it? Because when I hear Nick Offerman, I automatically think comedy because that's what I know him best for.
Not comedy at all.
Watch the last. You won't think comedy with Nick Offerman.
Yeah, that's true. But no, it doesn't come off as a comedy. As a comedy. It's going to be like a piece, if you will. I think so. We'll see. Yeah. And then, so that's my number 2. And number 1, no surprise here as well, Deadpool 3.
Oh.
I like Deadpool 1 more than Deadpool 2. Not like that Deadpool 2 was not good, but I just liked 1 so much more. I thought they kind of kept it a little more, that's what I'm looking for, grittier almost in the first one.
Yeah.
Didn't try to go too crazy with the plot. Second one, actually little things on the second one really bugged me more. Wasn't a big fan of the kid.
Oh, I
like that kid.
I love the kid.
He's okay, but like he got annoying pretty for me. He got a little annoying for me. He was funny, but he got a little annoying for me when he's doing his whiny side of things. But and I was really disappointed with the Juggernaut, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I didn't like that it was Ryan Reynolds playing his voice, although that seemed like a budget thing. I honestly think that was a budget thing.
Such a waste.
Yeah. I like the kid. I didn't like Domino. I didn't like the team. The team was a good idea. I just don't think it worked at all. Like it felt like it was just thrown in there.
Domino.
Sorry, who's that? Well, you like what?
I liked Domino. I didn't have a problem.
I didn't care for it at all. Anyways,
Actually, I will say that movie has one of my favorite sequences in any Deadpool, though, is the X-Force jumping off the plane.
Yeah.
And Peter was a great comedic. While the comedy was a little bit more wacky in this one, it was more wacky and less gritty compared to the first one. Yeah.
I think Peter's back in this.
I think so, but I also think Marina Baccarin is also back too. So I think technically, what all the time traveling did at the end of the movie, I think, is canon. I guess.
Okay. And at the end of the day, we're talking about Deadpool 3 here. I think with the addition of Wolverine, it's really gonna just make it awesome. So.
Yeah, for sure. That was your
and
number.
They have great comedic chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with my number 5. This one, I wasn't sure I was gonna put on my list or not, but being that I remember loving this movie so much back in the 90s, and it's still kind of, when it's on TV, I'll still throw it on every once in a while. But it's a sequel to Twister. Twisters is what it's supposed to be called. So I haven't seen anything for this at all. I don't even know if I know who's in it. But I really liked Twister back in the day. It was one of those pivotal moments in, I think, cinematic history where people were always talking about the flying cow with the fucking.
Twister was a good story.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, and it's got the best Shania Twain song in it, so you can't go wrong there.
Which song was that? Which song?
Shania Twain. No one needs to know.
I don't remember that in the movie.
It's in the, I think it's in the diner or something. It's just playing in the background.
A lot of
it's one of her music videos. Is like the Twister is actually in her music.
A lot of the commercials and everything were like featured and everything too when they're doing the promotions for it. But again, I kind of go back to Gladiator 2 on this one. Doesn't need a sequel. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. But
and it's almost gonna have no tie.
I'm interested.
I feel like it's gonna have absolutely like almost no tie to the first one, other than it's like
you won't.
Oh, it's their daughter or someone's daughter. Maybe or something won't. Like that.
That might be okay.
They'll have like maybe one or two of the actors. Sorry, but they'll have like maybe one or two of the actors from the first one that haven't really been able to do much for their careers. So like, you know, I think of one guy like the meek guy who's kind of in the first one he always had the backwards hat on, and it's tough to see.
If they really want to bring back the nostalgia, they got to bring Helen Hunt in at some capacity, because obviously Bill Paxton can't come in, Philip Seymour Hoffman can't come in, and they killed off Carrie L's character, so he can't come in. So obviously, if Helen Hunt makes an appearance or if she's a big part of it, then that will kind of bring the nostalgia people to that movie.
Fun thing about, you mentioned Carrie Ells, this will probably be funny for Lou, or at least interesting. So I'd never seen Princess Bride. I didn't even know Carrie Ells was the guy in Princess Bride. So my first real introduction to Carrie Ells was Twister. So when I saw Princess Bride, I'm like, oh, I hate that guy.
For me, it was Robin Hood Men in Tights for Carrie Ells.
Oh, maybe I saw him in that too. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, never mind. That was my first.
I was gonna say,
but I didn't remember him.
You cut the legs off all the jokes I was gonna make. I'm like, oh, well, they get Carrie Ells back, right? Or Philip Seymour Hoffman, right? Like, I mean, but you cut that off already. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little parched, Lindsay. Lewis, you might top me up.
Sure. Here you go.
Champagne. Oh, that's so good.
There you go.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Okay, there you go.
Me too.
There you go.
Oh, that was so good.
I was gonna say Carrie Ells also in the song. Oh, sorry.
That one's more of a Hail Mary number 5. I have no idea if it's going to be complete ass or if it's actually going to stand up to what I liked about the first movie. So number 4 was already mentioned by Lewis, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. And I'm a guy that loves apes, but even I was like, I don't know if I want like a whole army of apes fighting Godzilla and Kong. But I really, really did like Godzilla versus Kong. That one is just such stupid fun that it is entertaining through and through. I love the freaking fights that they do. The fact that they go into the center of the earth. A lot of it makes no fucking sense, but it is just fucking balls to the wall fun. That's what I want. And I'm hoping this movie is kind of a continuation of that. This is just that fun. I just want it to feel like that movie was.
So a little of a side, because it's not really about the movie, but when you see movies that use X, like, Are we just gonna say that's X, like Godzilla X Kong? Because I've seen other people say that's Cross, Godzilla Cross Kong, or
No.
If it's and because they're not fighting this time. It's not Godzilla.
well, I don't know. It's. I just find it weird to use that. Like, what does it mean? Like, you see a V.
Times Kong times.
Yeah, Godzilla multiplied by Kong.
But I mean, you see a V.
Empire.
You see a V, you know it means versus. Yeah, but
I don't know. Maybe the X-Men will show up. I don't know.
Is there also a Planet of the Apes movie coming out next year?
Just
sorry.
Hold your horses here.
Okay.
So number 3 is my Deadpool 3. So like you guys, the first 2 Deadpools are just fun, awesome movies. Ryan Reynolds, that is basically like his character. He owns that character. He is Deadpool. And I think I might like 2 a little bit more than 1, just because there is more going on. I guess I think the first one was a little more of a simple story.
3 was
And I liked when Marina Baccarin actually died. I thought there was actually some weight to it. And then they brought her back. I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But I thought there was some weight to it, and I didn't think the first movie really had that weight so much. And then the second one did also have a lot more just crazy fun and jokes and stuff like that. So, but I they're probably like this though. Maybe one's like just like that, a little bit higher. I'm not too sure. But 3, it's got Wolverine. So what the fuck? You can't not want to see this movie.
okay, can I do like just one quick thing where, for 3, what's one thing you want to see? Like, each of us picks one thing we want to see. I'll go first. I want to see a scene where like Deadpool and Wolverine are there and like kind of squaring off, and Wolverine like cuts off Deadpool's arm while he's like holding a sword. He's like, just delimbs him.
I was thinking like a character that I want to see. Like if Omega Red fucking makes an appearance.
That'd be great.
Damn. That'd be fucking.
Honestly, I might go with something a little bit simpler. I hope there's a couple callbacks to like. Well, I guess you can't call back to the X-Force, anybody on the X-Force, but I wouldn't mind if I hope that TJ Hudson or his buddy
Miller
Weasel, or what's his name? Sorry,
TJ Miller.
Yeah, TJ Miller. But what's his character's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Weasel is Weasel.
It is Weasel. Okay, yeah. I hope he's in it, and I know that like I think he got into some like legal trouble. He like made a joke bomb threat or something like that on a plane one time.
Yeah, there was.
But I hope he's still in it because he had some. It doesn't have to be a big part, but he would have good chemistry. I think he'd be a good add-on to a sequence with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, based on their banter too.
Yeah, I always liked TJ.
No.
Last 2 movies.
Oh, and the cabbie guy.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. No,
not for me.
too much of him. Okay.
When they're doing the auditions and Peter gets in and he's like, "Come on!" and he drops the. Yeah.
So that's my number 3 was Deadpool 3. Number 2, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I liked the last Ghostbusters Afterlife. I like the new cast that they brought in. They brought in the old cast too. Spoiler at the end of the movie, which honestly they didn't really need to do because the movie on its own was kind of standing on its own. But obviously that's, you're a fan of Ghostbusters. You kind of like to see the guys that you know. And so this one, obviously they're bringing it back too, but I hope it's not to just like the capacity they had in the last movie. I hope it's not just like them thrown in at the very end of the movie. I hope that they actually have a role to play. They're not just thrown in there. And what I liked about the trailer that we've seen so far is I was a fan of the Real Ghostbusters TV show, the cartoon. And what I've heard, Kumail Nanjiani, who's in this movie, he actually straight up said that it's like a big episode of Real Ghostbusters where it's like a monster of the week sort of thing. And this is the big monster that's coming for this movie. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks pretty cool. It looks fun to me too.
That puts me off a little bit, hearing that it should be like a monster a week. Cause I feel like generic. Like when I hear that, I feel like, oh, that's just generic. But like I want like a mystery. Like in the first one, the trailers and stuff, kind of like, oh, Egon died, we got his house, and we're finding out all this shit that he's been working on, and that was a mystery. This one, all we've seen is like things are freezing over. That's all the trailer gives us, anyways. But like, and as you were saying about the original cast being back, I don't know about all of them, but like I like to see like Dan Aykroyd at least. If he's back, just make him like the the guy that's like the librarian that knows all the old lore and stuff to talk about. I don't want to see him in an active capacity.
Isn't Rick Moranis back?
I don't think so. I don't think Rick Moranis.
Because I know he retired, but I thought there was a thing that he kind of come out of retirement recently.
He kind of did.
That would be cool, but I don't think he's. At least he hasn't been rumored to be in it.
Yeah.
So my number one, Craig mentioned it. It's the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Obviously, you know I'm a big ape fan. I haven't hidden that at all. And I love the recent trilogy that came out with Rise, and then not War. War was the third one. Sorry, then Dawn, Rise, and Dawn, then War. And I thought that was an awesome, great trilogy. So I hope that if this movie sucks, that it doesn't take anything away from those ones. It's supposed to be set like 300 years in the future, something like that. And I don't think Matt Reeves is connected at all, which he was connected to the last three. I think he was a big part of why I like those movies. He directed the most recent, the Batman movie. He has a good vibe. I love his feel for his movies. So I'm hoping that they're able to kind of capture some of the Matt Reeves-ness that I liked about those movies. And yeah, I just, more apes. Just give me more apes. I love those movies. Not so much the old, like, was it the 60s or 50s when those original ones come out? Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never seen
I've seen the first one.
Did you watch the Wahlberg
dated,
one?
very dated.
Did you watch the Wahlberg one?
I did. And that too. The special effects stand up really well, but the story itself was kind of stupid. Yeah.
I would
give me more apes.
I would more sooner watch the original, like the 60 ones, than I would watch the new ones. Like, I have no interest in the new ones. I'm sorry.
I watched the first trilogy of the new ones. You know, I liked it, not as much as John, and I was a little bit disappointed with 3 because of how Woody Harrelson was used. I thought he could have been used more and better, personally, but
I do want to say one thing, and I know I've told this to Country Boy multiple times, so this is a broken record for him. But just to get it on the internet, if this one, I would like to have seen like this, the apes come up with like humanoid lizard people that come in. Now they're the new guys coming on, taking them instead of that. To me, that'd be more interesting. Sorry, was that?
It's Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, yeah, but
you already have a lizard versus an ape. Yeah,
a lizard nation versus an ape nation.
Yeah, I think I told you this too, but I watched the Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell. There's the ape society, and there's also the lizard people society. I mean, and the lizard people are the smart ones that are like dominating. So.
Well, I guess we're missing Will Ferrell then.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my list. I got definitely some honorable mentions. If you guys want to rattle off some too,
I have. I'll just say Ghostbusters Afterlife is my honorable mentions, but the other one I have on my honorable mentions, Beetlejuice 2. Just shy of my list because I don't have any trailer to go off of, but I love the first one, so I'd like to see what they plan to do in the second one. I know that they talked about like a potential sequel back in the day of like Beetlejuice in Hawaii, and I heard that they're going to take some of that core concept for the sequel. I'm like, whoa, I don't know, that sounds terrible.
So you guys, it's funny, we all have one of our most anticipated that has what in my opinion is did you really need that sequel to happen? And so one of my honorable mentions is actually that for me, and that's Joker 2 that's supposed to be coming out next year.
Oh, yeah.
So many different Jokers, so many different Harley Quinn things. This one's going to have Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This just screams like it could be so bad. Like, Joaquin Phoenix is a very enigmatic guy, and I could almost see him, like, phoning it in a little bit more on this one. Like, he's got his Oscar. This one's just for the money. I don't know. You know, the mystique, like sometimes the characters like the Joker are so good because there's not a mystique to them. There's a mystique to them, right? Mm-hmm. I think if you give them more attention, it starts to lose some of that mystique. So we'll see.
And you know, I thought Joker was fantastic, and what keeping is awesome in it. But you're absolutely right. Like it stands on its own as its own movie. It doesn't really need to be elaborated on.
It stands a chance more of it ruining it than being like just as good, if not better. So for sure. And then the other one that we haven't talked about is it's called The Fall Guy. It's got Ryan Gosling in it, and he plays kind of like a stuntman. It's a comedy. It's got Emily Blunt, and And yeah, so I think it looks pretty good. I've seen a trailer for it, and yeah, excited about that.
I saw
it's
that.
fun.
I saw that as well. That trailer threw me because at first I'm like, okay, this is like a romantic comedy, and then like towards the end of it, it gets to like an action movie.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so, like,
what the fuck
a
am I?
detective almost.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to be? So I'm conflicted on it. I don't know exactly how to feel because it just moves around so much. But
And it's interesting seeing him be a stunt person because he was a stunt driver in Drive, right? So
yeah,
I'll say ever since the other guys, not the other guys, sorry, it's the nice guys, seeing Ryan Gosling kind of do comedy, serious comedy-ish too. I really liked him in
Barbie.
like that, where there's comedy and there's like a serious aspect to it as well too.
Barbie, Crazy Stupid
Barbie,
Love.
yeah, for
Crazy
sure.
Stupid Love, he's great in that as well. So yeah.
I haven't seen that. And I don't know if you guys have any more. I got a couple here, dude.
No.
So I was gonna say Beetlejuice, but you said that one. Bad Boys 4. The last Bad Boys was surprisingly good for a long time waited sequel. So yeah, keep up the Bad Boys movies.
wait, about Bad Boys. About Bad Boys, were they going to be bringing back again Smith and the other guy? I can't remember his name.
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah, you can't do it without them.
Yeah, they are the Bad Boys.
Okay, I just wondering because I know Lawrence even for the last one was kind of past his prime and stuff, and I'm wondering if.
I wonder if they try and introduce like a third character, kind of like they did Chris Rock in The Weapon 4, to maybe see if they can like continue to make them without needing.
He doesn't have to shoulder all the weight. And then another one I don't really know anything about, but I'm intrigued that they're making this movie, Nosferatu.
Oh,
Like I never seen the original Nosferatu, but the fact that they're making a new one is it's got my interest, anyways.
It's got Willem Dafoe, which is gonna obviously make it good.
That's news to me. Like I have seen the original. I went out of my way to watch that, which it is like watching a fucking play. Like it you can see back then they weren't really sure how to make film work, so it very much feels like you're watching a play that someone just sitting there with a camera.
Experimental movie.
And it's weird, and it like for the modern audience, it's weird and stuff. But it's you get it, you understand what you're supposed to get through it. But I haven't seen anything, so I'm interested now that you mentioned it. I'll look it up after this.
Yeah. So
I mean, obviously, I'll probably end up watching a lot of family ones too. I didn't mention like Inside Out 2. I'm sure we'll be seeing that.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yep. So, this isn't my family's list though, so
yeah. I'm putting in my top picks though.
Is there another troll movie coming in? Or?
Yeah.
This coming here?
I have to see it. I got to see Wish instead, which I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2023. That was last year. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, a subscribe, put some comments down there below. What are the movies you're looking forward to? I'm CountryBoy_9 on Twitch, Twitter, PSN, and on YouTube where I unbox guys like this. Scratch the Cat from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a Super 7 figure. We're gonna be pretty sweet. And then to my left,
I'm the LewisLightning. You can find me as the LewisLightning on Twitch when I'm playing something. And I mean, right now I'm playing System Shock. I'll be playing hopefully RoboCop sometime soon. But yeah, check me out there, or you can go to YouTube and find my other stuff, which I've already played.
And then down below,
I'm MussKeg. Let's see if this one does anything. Okay. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, PSN as MussKeg, and also TikToks. I have 2.
I have 2. Maybe by the time this is posted, you'll have a third one.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna start doing reaction videos to us.
To our episodes.
You should.
Anyways, that's gonna do it. We'll see you in 2024, the rest of the year.
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, if you're gonna do anything.